Are games getting too realistic? It's a topic that I don't hear anyone talk about, but they should, because the graphics on some of these mod games are becoming really good. Like, dude, I can't even tell if this is real life anymore. They are that good. But this poses a question, is this going too far? Sure, these games look amazing, and the technological advancements to recreate the world's aesthetic are super impressive. But I can't help but think that this is kind of an issue. Like, do some of these games really need to be this detailed? A good example of this would be Spider-Man. In 2018, Marvel's Spider-Man was released on the PS4 and it looked phenomenal. Just look at the graphics. But then, in 2023, Spider-Man 2 came out, and the graphics were like... The graphics were so good, in fact, that you had to buy a completely new console just to play it, which is where the problem lies. Spider-Man 2 really didn't need the overhauling graphics. Spider-Man 1 already looked really good, but the reason for the upgraded visuals, and this will absolutely shock you, so prepare yourselves, it is... money. Yeah, it's money. Of course it is. It's always about money. The game theory I have is that because Sony owns Spider-Man and PlayStation, they update their graphics just so they can justify the game being a PS5 exclusive, so they can get a big boost in money. I do want to preface that this isn't a bad thing. It's up to the creators of these games on how they want them to look. But so many games go for a realistic look, making them all look samey. If you look at older games, they were so easy to tell apart, because back then, game studios would throw anything at a wall hoping it would stick, which would lead to some of these games having super unique styles. One of these games being in 2001, the world was blessed with Halo Combat Evolved, baby! And yes, this game does go for a realistic look despite the hardware limitations. And I'll admit, it is kinda hard to make something that doesn't represent the real world, so it is a good benchmark. But what makes Halo so special is the style of everything. Due to the game taking place on an alien world where you fight these things, Bungie were able to go nuts on the design of everything in this game. From the rings design, all the way to how the guns look. First of all, the structures have the really bizarre shapes and patterns, instantly showing you that, yeah, this probably isn't Earth. It sets the atmosphere for Halo extremely well. The weapons too are so weird looking, and that's a given for the Covenant, but even the UNSC weapons are unique too, like they just ooze with the Source. All of this is great, but my number one favourite thing about mainly CE's art direction is the use of colours and what they represent. This is most apparent with the enemies. They are coated in these bright colours to immediately differentiate them from one another. From the very first level in all of Halo, you can immediately tell that the blue elites are the most common and the red elites are slightly uncommon, making them stronger than the blues. As you progress through, you see more and more coloured elites. The white elites are invisible and don't have shield, so if you have a keen eye, a good shot from the Magnum can kill them. The gold elites are the strongest elite, which is very apparent as they often wield energy swords and, well, they're gold, so of course they're the strongest. The black elites and grunts exclusive to Combat Evolved replace all colours, solidifying themselves as the strongest to show the Covenant's desperation to stop the Chief, which I think is so awesome and a great way to present the story in a subtle way. Bravo, Vince. Unfortunately, 343 then came along and shut out this. Why? This game's art style misses the point completely, sucking away all colour and atmosphere the original held. Like, the difference is night and day. Obviously the original is far superior. In fact, let's play a game. Which one is Assault on the Control Room and which one is Two Patrols? You will have 10 seconds to answer. If this is your answer, then you are wrong! They are actually both Two Betrayals! Can someone please tell me how you make a level that takes place at night look like it takes place at day? That is such a colossal failure, it's comedic! Now this game truly has the source. I mean, do I even need to talk about this? The footage is right there. I'll talk about it anyway. From the title screen, this game has a very specific style in mind, completely covering the world in white, which on paper would sound like a utopia, but it's really the opposite, a dystopia. The game being white represents how minimalistic and soulless Glass City is, but the entire game isn't just white, that would suck. So there are colours sprinkled throughout the city, such as red, blue, green, orange, and yellow. You may think these are just here just to make the game look a little nicer, but in reality, they are so much more. Each colour represents something, a faction if you will. Red represents the runners, the group that the player belongs to. Blue represents the police, or as the runners refer to them as, the Blues. Green represents Robert Pope, a cool and totally epic politician who is trying to make the world of Mirror's Edge a better place. Orange and yellow represents Callahan and Travis Burfield, greedy and corrupt politicians trying to get people on their side. They even steal from Robert Pope later in the game, which really shows their greed and desperation for power. Well, I think so at least. Correct me if I'm wrong about the colours in the comments, because I genuinely don't really know that well. Anyway, these colours come together for some amazing world building, really making you feel immersed in Mirror's Edge. And unfortunately, this is what modern gaming is missing. So many of these new games just don't have this level of style. A lot of people play games to escape from the boring reality we live in. So adding some colours could go a long way to improve the visuals, rather than just making the games more realistic.
You fucking on that cake?
You want some? I'm good, thank you. Bro, stop being gay, bro. Fag, Nick. Oh, delete it. Delete it. Nick. Delete it.
Now this is an interesting one, because obviously this game isn't all that realistic. But if you look at the game from 2017 to present day, something is clearly different. In chapter 1 of Fortnite, you had these really odd looking designs. Cars looked like this, doors and furniture all looked like this. Whereas in chapter 6, the current chapter, all of the things I previously mentioned now look like this. Surely I can't be the only one that thinks this is a downgrade. Chapter 1 had strange shapes in its design which really solidified Fortnite's cartoony style, and now it all looks realistic and boring. Even the textures have been made to be more realistic, and this jump to more realistic visuals can cause serious performance issues for people with slightly outdated hardware, which can make people stop playing entirely. And sure, this is a small portion of people, but it still ruins the experience for them. Also, who even asked for this upgrade? No one. I swear, Epic Games just wants to alienate their community. Even the skins look realistic. Have you seen the Fantastic Four skins? It's gotten to a point where the skins look unnatural and uncanny, like,
Get that camera the fuck away from me!
Now if you're like me and aren't a fan of the way these games look, then switch to indie games and your eyes will be blessed with beautiful games that don't rely on realism. And yes, a lot of these games do use the retro visuals to remind you of how games used to look, and yeah, it is kind of overused, but if I'm being honest, I don't really care, and would rather this style than having the game being realistic be its main selling point. So here are some indie games to marvel at. Overall, games being realistic isn't gonna change all of a sudden. In fact, games are getting more and more realistic as the years go by, and nothing's going to change that. But it would be nice if some games incorporate their own style to set themselves apart from each other. I'm not too sure how many of you are going to agree with the stuff I said in this video. If you don't, that's completely fair. In fact, if this video gets any kind of attention, comment your thoughts on the matter. I'd be really interested in hearing other opinions on the subject. Moral of the story: realistic games, le bad. Games that look like they came out in the 90s, le good.